sincere people who spend their life trying to perfect their craft for you. This is better than what's happening on the stages in the big arenas of television. I turn my TV off now because I can't get that quality of performance. So I want the musicians to know that you have something that cannot be replaced. Whether it's appreciated or not, you have something that cannot be replaced. You can have a treasure in your soul. Uh, I wanted to talk about the X because I looked at this great wall here and the artist did a grand job of putting all the symbols of history and cosmology before us. But I didn't see an X up there. So I want to add the X to that symbol, that group of symbols. First of all, we go to the sky for everything of wisdom and eternity. It is the only place that we can find a parallel to what has always been and what will always be. So in our life here as Negroes and blacks and descendants of the survivors of the Middle Passage, we very seldom look up. And when we do, we don't know what we see simply because we haven't spent the time that we spend studying football moves and basketball moves and a lot of other things in pursuit. We don't spend the time to find out about what was there all along and what will be there when we are passed on. And so I want to speak about the X because it's very important. The X is reflecting on our life today. With the young people out here shooting each other, we get 3 or 4, sometimes 10 every weekend. There's a load of deaths that come in to rush us, and Monday morning we'll read about. We have theft to such an extent that most of the stores are built to protect themselves against theft. We have thieves in the place, in the suit of politicians who are supposed to save us, but they're stealing from us. And with 3 million people in the city of Chicago, we do not have enough resources to handle our basic needs. All of these things reflect on confusion. And so I suggest to my brothers and sisters who are enlightened that we look to the parallel in the sky, because it has been known since ancient times that as above, so below. So if we see these patterns up there, we can observe the patterns that take place on this earth in our lives, and we can see the true measurement, the true value of a brother and a sister. Now, first of all, it's been proven that we are the oldest people on the planet Earth, that we have at least a visual 4,500,000 existence. And that is not any exaggeration. It has come from grave robbers who are digging and trying to find out how old we are. But I suggest that they will never find the origin, because I do not see that we have an origin, that we have a time when we will not exist. I see us as an eternal people. Now, coming back to today, when we look up in the sky, we'll see a triangle of stars, and they're very prominent all during the night. One of the stars is called Vega in the constellation Lyra, the heart. The other star to the left of it is Deneb in the constellation Cygnus, the swan. The third star on the bottom is called Altair, which is in the constellation Aquila, the eagle. Those 3 stars represent the summer lights. And in ancient times, they were very highly regarded. In ancient Kemet, you see signs of them. And all of the great civilizations in Peru, Machu Picchu, up in the mountains, was built in the 4 mountains, in the center of the 4 mountains, so that it could reflect those 3 lights of summer. Now, coming back to today, we are approaching the 50th anniversary of President Obama. And lo and behold, he was born right at the peak of the three lights. But there was something extra with the three lights when he was born. And that's in August the 4th, 1961. There were two planets, Saturn, which was in the constellation oh my goodness, next to Scorpio, Sagittarius. Saturn was in Sagittarius, and Jupiter was in Capricorn. Now, Saturn's home is Capricorn, and Jupiter's home is in Sagittarius, but they were in opposite places. And in the sky, they formed a giant X. And that was the first time I looked up and got caught in the sky. I'd never seen an X before, and so I kept looking. The next night it was there, and the night after, I didn't know anything about the movement of the stars. So I had to go down to the Adler Planetarium just to find out what the name of these stars were. Because I got three of the names, I couldn't find the other two. And then I found out they were two planets. And that was when I became more or less committed to enlightenment, rather than to pursue anything else other than knowledge, because I see that we've had a taste of everything but that. We as a people have tried all kind of experiments, and we've succeeded in some areas, but we always come back. Something has brought us back because we didn't have enough to break through to the other side. And that's what I wanted to focus on. The only way we can get to the other side is by incorporating our eternity. We are eternal beings, and we do everything to defeat the eternity in us because it requires us to be angels. We were born angels. Our first breath provided for everything we need during our existence on this plane. And so we have to adopt the behavior of an angel. We have to stop dealing with drugs. We have to stop dealing with things that are foul for our body. We have to give up the bad talk, the evil thoughts, or the negativeness, or the aggrandizement, or selfishness. We have to give up these things and learn how to share, because every last one of us have gifts, and those gifts are not for ourselves. Yes. Those gifts are for our community. And when we learn to share our gifts, then we'll be the wealthiest people on the planet, because no one has our gifts. That's right. It's just we sell our gifts to the highest bidder and try to pretend that we are successful because we got money. And we don't have anything, because everywhere we go in the world, we are one of them. You understand?
All right.
When we go to China, you know, as I was in China, they gave me a banquet in honor of knowledge. Not because I was a black American, but you see, no matter where you go, you're still one of those people. And until those people rise up to their true place, then none of us are going anywhere. And all I want to say is that I'm happy to report in the X is the knowledge that our salvation is already walking on the planet. It's not in the person of one man. It's not in the person of a special group of elites. It is in the person of every child born since 1992. They have an energy in them that will transform the world we live in. Those of us who are elders, we have a world that we have seen that we have to pass on to them. We have to pass on to them the knowledge of the world that we came up in, the high schools we went to, the grade schools we went to, the joints we went to, all the foolishness we went through. That has to be passed on to the children, not to master it, but to understand it is how we got to the condition that we're in. So I'm not going to preach anymore, because I thought my brother, both of the brothers, give excellent sermons today. Only thing I want to say is, in the name of knowledge, that those who look to the X. You know the cross is an X. You know that the Ankh is an X. Uh, Everything that is higher developed is an X. In the Portuguese language, they call X she, which is the life force. All of the languages and all of the symbols out here point to a sacred place for the X. And so I want you to remember that all those children in your house and in your family, they are possessed with the quantity X, just as the Peruvians did when they created Machu Picchu, just as the old Mexican Toltecs, the Incas or the Mayans, just as the Cambodians did, just as ancient India did, the River City States, just as ancient China. All of those nations rose up under an energy that we identify as X. And so we have that energy in our community now. And this city, Chichagu, is on the Holy Land where the Spirit thrives right now in all of this soil. I looked at that butterfly flying around here, and I said, I wonder whether it was a male butterfly looking for a female or a female butterfly looking for a male. But whatever it is, we are divided, and we do not have we're not covering each other's back. We are still at a semi-war. And so that butterfly represented something that we have to cover and submit to one another, because I can provide for you what you can't provide for yourself, and you can provide for me what I cannot provide for myself. I would like to announce also that we're going to perform the 3rd or the 4th on Obama's birthday at the Center for Inner City Studies from 6 to 9 p.m. People ask me to play, but I don't feel obligated to do that because I've been performing for 15 years at the Ethiopian Diamond, and I haven't seen anybody up there hardly. And so I pass with that and say I really am grateful for all of you here, because you represent the last chance we have for knowledge and enlightenment. It's not going to happen anywhere unless it happens in an environment just like this. And I thank our brother facilitator who made that possible. Thank you.